Tachi Palace Fights in Lemoore, home of the Valley's hardest-hitting MMA action, presents Let the Chips Fall. Friday, August 5th, flyweight champion Daryl Montague takes on number 3 ranked Ian McCall. Plus, a co-main event featuring Porterville's Joe Soto versus San Diego's Eddie Yagin. Local fighters, and of course the TPF Ring Girls. Early tickets as low as $25. Call or order online at TachiPalace.com. Let the chips fall. Friday, August 5th, Tachi Palace Hotel and Casino, Lemoore.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mott's Cage Radio, joined by a member of Season 11's Ultimate Fighter Show. He's fought out at the Tachi Palace here locally in our area. He's known to many as Leonidas for obvious reasons. My man, Joseph Henle. Welcome to the show, my man. How are you? I'm doing okay. Days have been better, but, you know, we get by. Okay, now, I've never interviewed you before, but obviously I've seen you on TV, as well as a lot of other people. It seems like we know fighters more. You know, we're a little bit more attached to you. We, quote, feel like we know you. Do you get that? Do fans come up and they've seen you on the show, so they're a lot more comfortable? I'm sure that show helped build up your, you know, your visibility in the public eye.
You know what? It's, I think it definitely helps people to get to know fighters, get to feel fighters. Some guys felt like it portrayed a different image of them. For me, I felt like it went, you know, exactly who I was. You know what I mean? I'm not a real loud, brash guy, pretty laid back for the most part until it gets time to scrap. But you know what I mean? It really gave people a sense of feeling about me. And, you know, when I see people out, people still run up and say, hey, what's going on? You were that dude. You got screwed in that fight. You know, like, people show me a lot of love, you know what I mean? And so in that aspect of it, being on the show was a phenomenal success. I really get a lot of love and support from people, Facebook, Twitter. You know, people are always saying what's up, and it's a very good feeling, and it's an excellent way to connect with fans and make them feel like they're part of the game.
Now, you're locked in the house. You're locked away from, you know, the TV, the family, basically the world. Was it a good experience?
It was a great experience. I've got a lot of patience. I'm a substitute teacher, high school football and wrestling coach. I've substituted everything from kindergarten to 12th grade. So, I mean, American Sign Language to Japanese, you call it, I've done it. And, you know, you got to be able to hold your composure. And in the house, it was a real similar situation. You got a lot of guys. You know, guys get that big-chested, I'm the man.
Right.
You know, and you kind of got to laugh those things off. If you let those things affect you, you know, it just throws everything off. So, for me, it was just sitting in there with a bunch of high school kids. And a lot of those guys were real cool, some of them not so cool. But at the same time, you know, what do you get? We're all there to hit each other. So, you know what I mean? I'm not going to let you mess up my day. You know, it was enough to just focus on my, you know, missing my family, missing my girlfriend, missing my dog, you know what I mean? Things like that. Other than that, man, it was cool because, what, they brought us there to work. Let's work.
All right, now I saw you live in action out at the Tachi Palace against a fighter named Colin Hart. That was a battle. Basically kicked you in the package, and they took a point away, and then they say draw at the end, and we're all sitting around. I'm like, wow, like I could kind of see it coming, you know, because of the kick and whatnot. What was your take on that fight, other than I'm sure that sucked?
The kick in the net sucked. That was one. It's funny. Sherdog's got a great photo of it with me just sitting against the cage, just holding my junk. Like, I mean, I remember literally thinking that I was gonna on the cage floor. I remember sitting on my knees, and I remember the ref telling me that I had 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, and I'm holding myself there, trying not to puke, and then I thought it was somebody on the side say 30 seconds. And I was like, well, crap, let's go. And the ref was looking at me kind of funny. And afterwards, he told me, he was like, dude, you were 30 seconds into it. And I was like, oh, I could have taken more time. Okay, that sucks.
Wow.
But, you know what I mean? I mean, hindsight's whatever.
Right.
The fight was a great fight. I mean, kid was tough. You know what I mean? I smashed him right off the bat, cut him. You know what I mean? The first round was definitely mine. Second round, watching, he was definitely getting the better of the exchanges. You know what I mean? I think the second round would have went to him for sure. You know what I mean? I didn't want to see the point get deducted. I didn't see it coming when the ref did it. I was looking at him. I mean, you see me on the video looking like, really?
Right.
But he told me afterwards. He's like, illegal blows that are game changers are things that you take a point for. He said that you were not the same fighter, from right there on. And he's like, I felt like that was a significant strike. So I said, okay. Third round to me was a toss-up. At the time, I know that I ended the round in a bad position, but not really in danger. He took my back, but he wasn't threatening a choke. I remember just sitting there, just pounding him from the bad position. But I rewatched it a couple of times. I was on top, throwing punches for, I think, 3.5 of the 5 minutes. So, I mean, I felt like I won, but I can understand the draw, as awkward as it is. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that, if you don't finish, you have no say in what gets called. So I didn't finish, so I don't deserve the win.
Okay, so that's a draw. Is that something that you'd like to run back? Is that a guy that you'd like to fight again, or whatever, next?
For me, I mean, fighting's just whatever. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Each opponent is not like, some guys have to be angry. Some guys got to hate that dude.
Right.
To me, it's just competition. I'm just going to choke you out, whatever. I don't care. So, whether it's him, I mean, I told him right after the fight, I said, if you ever want to run that back, all you got to do is holler at me, and we got it. And he was like, maybe get another one in, and maybe. And I understand. I mean, a funny thing that people don't understand, that MMA is slowly turning into how boxers kind of hone their careers. You know what I mean? In your first couple of fights, you don't want to get in there and smash with bangers and get in there with tough monsters, because you start catching a couple of unlucky breaks. I mean, MMA is very, very close. One little clip in the chin and you're done. You know what I mean? And so you start losing fight. You lose 2 fights, you're 2-2, you're 500. I mean, your chances of making it to the next level keep getting diminished, that much more, that much more. So I understand not wanting to take smash out fights, like, you know what I mean? And at the time, I mean, people kept asking me, they were like, dude, you should be in the UFC. And I looked at them, I was like, no, not really. I'm not really at that level yet. I made the show, to be honest, because I got long hair, tattoos, and NBA. I got a story to tell. You know what I mean? And that's what The Ultimate Fighter is. The Ultimate Fighter is helping people tell a story. And had I made it, they'd have been like, woo, great story. But I didn't. But it helped them sell their thing. It helped me get some publicity. And, it's one of those things that's a positive, But at the time, I was definitely not UFC caliber, and I know that. And so I've been working with, a bunch of different teams. Mark Munoz down at Rain, down in Lake Forest, my boxing coach, Fabio Leopoldo with my jiu-jitsu. So, you know what I mean? I'm working to get back to that level. So, fighting, I'm trying to build the record up to where Joe Silva and the UFC go, okay, that's the guy we want.
Okay.
So it is what it is right now.
All right. So it's been a minute since you've been in action. I guess you had one more fight after the Tachi Palace. You won. Is there any talk about you coming back out to the Tachi Palace? Because we'd love to have you back out here.
Oh, you're telling me, man. I love that show. Jeremy is a great promoter. Tachi puts on phenomenal shows. The only thing with his shows is, I mean, he literally books them 6 to 8 months in advance.
Right.
And I just signed with a new manager, Bryce Armadori with Royal Sports Management. So hopefully he can holler at him, but it was hard to get on with all those fights, you know what I mean? He puts them together, books them so solid, so fast that it was like, just couldn't quite get on there. So, hey, I mean, if he's listening, Jeremy, holler at me. I would love to come fight for you again. So
he'll definitely be listening, that's for sure. Yeah. All right, so now I guess you have a fight coming up. What is it, this week? He laughs.
That would be part of why I'm not having the greatest day.
Okay.
7:30 wake up call from a promoter saying your guy just pulled out.
Oh man, so that's not good.
No, not so much.
Okay, so are they looking for a replacement?
He said he would. I don't really think it's gonna happen.
Okay.
It's a show out in Pennsylvania called Mass, World Class Mass. They actually they had Chris McRae fighting on it too.
Okay.
His opponent pulled out or he got hurt, so they lost his fight. Now they lost my fight. they had, to be honest, I was a little nervous because they hadn't booked my plane ticket yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're telling me. And we were flying out on Thursday, apparently. And so I was a little nervous. I was like, you're cutting that too close for me. Nah, but I was just, like my boxing coach says, you hope for the best and prepare for the worst. So
right.
We kind of had a feeling that it might not go through, but, they said it was because the guy pulled out. And I mean, yesterday they called me and they said, hey, your opponent is having some trouble making 185 because he usually fights at 205. Can you go 195? And I was like,
wow.
Maybe 190. We agreed on 192. And then, 24 hours later, I get the call, hey.
He's hurt.
He's hurt. Sorry. So.
Okay. So I know that you're usually, I'm assuming that you're in the gym, that you're a gym rat. You seem like that kind of a guy to me. Like you're a family man, obviously, but it seems like you're always in the gym. How much time were you spending preparing? Do you set up a certain amount of time to prepare for your opponents and whatnot, or just, hey, let's do it, I don't even care who he is?
I'm a training camp guy.
Okay.
I mean, I'm always in the gym. I'm always doing my jiu-jitsu. I'm always working with a boxing coach, but I am a training camp guy.
Okay.
I got a strength and conditioning coach.
Okay.
I got my boxing coach, and I got my team down at Rain. And I put in 4 solid weeks. Prior, a week at a wrestling camp with my high school kids working on my wrestling. 4 solid weeks of camp. I got my weight down. I mean, my weight was great. I was totally on point to make 85s this week. I felt great.
Okay.
So it was. I definitely set aside. I mean, I'm a scheduled guy.
Right.
I make sure I got my conditioning at this time, my boxing at this time. Okay. I'm that kind of guy, and so it's for something to go down like that last minute. I mean, that's 2 out of my last 4 that's happened. So,
okay, so this is starting to be a pattern.
A little bit. I was supposed to have a fight right after the show. They released us in June. I had a fight scheduled for July 31st at Magic Mountain.
Wow.
And day before weigh-ins, the whole card gets canceled.
Oh, wow.
So I've had 4 fights scheduled since the show, and now 2 have fallen through.
Now, the show that canceled, there's no show money or anything because there was no weigh-in or anything, right? So, and there's no recourse as far as getting you money or anything. I mean, I'm sure you're out. Well, we know you're out time.
Yeah.
Especially time that you probably want to hang out with your family or do something other than what you were doing, and especially, getting on weight. I know cutting weight isn't fun. I wouldn't know anything about that, so I'll take your guys' word for that. But so if this fight doesn't go down, like you said, you got Bryce in your corner, great guy. I've interviewed him a couple of times. I've interviewed some of his fighters, obviously you. Do you start looking for a fight immediately? Because I mean, you're in fight shape right now.
Yeah, I'm ready to roll. So I mean, I'm gonna take. I mean, if he doesn't call me today, I'm gonna assume that it's over.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a day. I'm gonna have a beer. I'm gonna have a pizza. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Not blow up, but
right.
You got to enjoy yourself too. And I've already got I've got a jiu-jitsu training today that I'm gonna go to. Why not?
Right.
It's not like I'm missing out on anything. I might as well go get some work in. So for me, it's the thing that kills me is that I put in 4 weeks. It's not just the fight money. You know what I mean? It's the gas that I got to drive. I mean, I drive 2 hours to go train at Rain. I go 2 days a week. I bumped it up to 3 for the last 2 weeks. That's like $100 every 2 days. Now my strength and conditioning coach isn't going to get paid. My boxing coach isn't going to get paid. I'm $100,000 in debt for school.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So now I make those payments. I got to go try to find more private lessons, and I got to hustle my way, back into it. And I expect those things, but at the same time, it's like, if there was something like, we signed a contract, everything was there, you know what I mean? So it's like, it just sucks that they use my name to promote the fights.
Right.
I'm on the poster, this, and that. And then 2 days before the show, sorry, we can't do it. I had a guy on Twitter hit me up. He was like, dude, that was going to be my first live MMA event. I was so amped to see you fight. And I was like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So, it's just a downer. There's a lot of sunk cost into putting together a camp. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not just like, the $2,000 had I won that I was going to get paid was just, oh, sweet, money in my pocket. You know what I mean?
Right.
You'd already start spending some of that,
Right.
The food that it takes me to get down to 185 is stupid, dude. I'm a big dude. You know what I mean? I walk around easy. If I just totally relaxed, I'd be 240 like that. I usually swing back up to 225 after fights real easy.
Wow.
So I need to be on point with what I'm eating. Luckily, I've got the world's greatest lady, cooks everything for me, keeps me on point, keeps everything bad out of the house. I don't got to stress about nothing. So, that makes it easier, but it's still, you got to go out and buy the right vegetables. You got to go out and buy the chicken. You got to buy this, you know what I mean? It's always just shelling out that money, and to not fight, is just really like a kick in the pants. I could live a lot cheaper,
right,
if I lived like everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
So
I hear you. Oh man, that's really brutal. Well, we hope that things work out. I know Bryce will pull something out of the hat for sure. Hopefully, this fight and these promoters come through, and you do get to fight because, like you say, it's the fans that look at the poster. Hey, that's the guy that I want to come. $30, $40, $50 out of pocket. They're not coming to see that MMA show. They're coming to see Leonidas. So I totally get that and whatnot. And a lot of these promoters out here in California will throw fake names up on posters just to get the fans to come out, and then their favorite fighters aren't even fighting on the card, which is like really scandalous. But anybody you want to shout out before I let you go? I appreciate you taking some time with me today, my man.
Oh, definitely. I appreciate you having me on. Shout out to the sponsors that were going to sponsor me for the fight.
Yeah.
Harder, Faster, Stronger. Were going to sponsor me for the weigh-ins. I was really appreciative of them doing that. If you want to hit up Harder, Faster, Stronger, they got some sick clothes. Millie Fidel, they've been sponsoring me for my last couple of fights. We just did a photo shoot. Their new line came out. It's pretty sick. You should check it out. Budo Mart America. I'm actually sponsored by Adidas Martial Arts.
Nice.
Budo Mart America sends them through, so they do all my jiu-jitsu gis, my MMA training gear. They got some really sick stuff. So if you go to budomartamerica.com, check out some really cool gear there. The Elite Group does all my screen printing. They make all my shirts, everything, my banner, my shorts, everything. Those guys are so solid for me. It's ridiculous. And then Cardinal Damage MMA, or CardinalDamage.com, they were also ones that were going to throw a little bit into me. So I'm sorry I couldn't rep you guys in the fight, but hopefully you guys get a little love here. And then just my team partners, everybody down at the Rain Training Center, Mark Munoz, Christoph, Jay Silva, Brent Cooper, Bam Bam, all those guys down there. I really appreciate all the help. Rafael Davis, everybody at my Gracie Marumbi family, my jiu-jitsu family, and then Joseph Janet Haas, my boxing coach at Knuckleheads Boxing, Jesse Powder Newell, who is an up-and-coming 145er who's a beast, and Chris Beal, same thing, a 135-pounder. So if anybody's looking for some fighters, I got a couple monsters with me. So
nice.
Come holler at us.
Nice. Well, we wish you the best of luck. I definitely want to keep in touch. Seem like a very intelligent guy. What's plan B if you're not going to be a fighter? What is it that you're going to do with your life, my man?
Probably. Eventually, I think I'm going to go back into financial planning. I have an MBA in financial planning.
Okay.
I really like to do that. I like to help people out. I'd also like to be a jiu-jitsu instructor. I'm working for my black belt, working in the gi all the time. Like, I love to be active. I love to help people. I love coaching as well. So I think I'm going to be one of those guys that just has a finger in everything.
Nice.
I never want to give up coaching. I'm loving it to death. I coach at Thousand Oaks High School, varsity defensive line. I played D-line in college, and
nice.
It's a passion for me. And then the wrestling team and all those phenomenal kids, Jonah Hirschman, Austin Welty, bunch of awesome kids. So that's a strong pull in my life is coaching, and so I'm always going to do that. Teaching could be, a way to go. I feel like I've diversified myself pretty well. So,
nice.
There's a lot of different things that I kind of rock into. So the day I feel like the fighting is just, out of, just out of touch with reality, I'll hop on something real. But until then, I'm coming for you.
Nice. All right, my man. We wish you the best of luck. Thanks for taking time with us here on Cage Radio. Take care, Joe. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, bro. Bye-bye.